Hi, I'm Ellie from crystallinks.com. Today is Thursday, September 28th, 2017. September, as you know, is a huge month of transition, but this month, this particular year, has brought so many things together, and yet it has been such a destructive month in terms of natural disasters and climate change. Many times I sat down and I said, okay, I'm going to do another video blog about what's going on, and then things just got in the way. It's a very busy month for people who are psychic readers because everyone's going through a transition, or most people are. But I really, if I'm repeating from another video blog, but I have been saying and blogging on Crystal Links for 22 years that climate change, natural disasters are going to accelerate in what I call end times. There is no date. I am not going to tell you there is a date. Actually, in the course of the last week, there was some guy who had predicted the return of Nibiru or some other prophecy thing. There are no dates. It's what you feel in your soul because you know the answer. But there are no dates because time is an illusion, and anyone who's ever predicted a date was wrong. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that, and I'm not going to go into all these nonsense prophecies. It's basically, we are in end times. How do I know? I don't have to be psychically told. Basically, all you have to do is just look around and look at what's going on. The biggest, most profound way to see this and process this is to look at, let's start with the natural disasters, okay? As always, the biggies always take place in the Pacific Ring of Fire. We are now dealing with earthquakes in Mexico. Mexico started with an 8.2, I believe, and I guess people just don't follow the earthquake map. Some do, some don't. I shouldn't say not everybody. But they never really stopped. Those earthquakes that shook in and around Mexico City, they just kept shaking and shaking and shaking. And then, of course, there was the next earthquake that happened, I would say, about a week or so ago. And that one was a 7.1, and that has been followed by two earth aftershocks in the 6s. So what we're looking at is an earthquake activity that is accelerating. You just have to look at the different places in the world, like you have this holographic map in your mind, and say to yourself, well, okay, so it's Mexico. What does that have to do with me? It has to do with a lot of things because there have been swarms of earthquake activities in many parts of the world. The tectonic plates are breaking, fracturing, coming apart, any way you want to put it. You certainly can do your homework on what's going on with that. What happened in Mexico was felt in neighboring countries. But, you know, some people will go, okay, this is a pattern. Actually, one of them was felt in Los Angeles. I believe it was the second one, right before the second one, the 7.1. Those people are saying, well, if there's going to be a big one, and we know there's going to be a big one, it's not going to happen anytime soon, okay? Most people go through a period of, okay, this is serious, we should be watching it, we should be donating, we should be helping, we should be doing everything we can for those who are affected by the earthquakes, and we'll get to the hurricanes also. Major hurricanes this month, major. And I sound like Donald Trump when I said that. Delete. Okay, let's move on. But anyway, the natural disasters, the earthquake activities, they're not just saying it's in Mexico or in surrounding areas or some other country that's also experiencing quakes. This is an ongoing pattern. It's always been with us. I mean, the planet just rocks and rolls since the beginning, but it's accelerating to a greater end and a greater destiny, okay? There are Arctic earthquakes, Antarctic earthquakes. The Antarctic, okay, somebody corrected me on Facebook, but I was right too. I always blog that Antarctic is breaking up, and he sent me an article that says it wasn't. The one side, I believe it's the eastern side, is not. It's sort of growing, but the western side is breaking up. Anything in the Pacific region is breaking up. If you go to the Atlantic, let's scoot on over, put your mind over in the Atlantic. We have something called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, which you definitely can Google or look in Wikipedia, wherever you want to research it. And I said, I don't know how many years ago, that earthquake activity there is 2s, going to 3s, going to 4s. When all of this was happening and our attention, remember, it's all about diversions, but our attention was riveted to Mexico and what's going on there. The Atlantic area, as you know, has gone through horrific hurricanes, but the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is now up to a 5.9. They had a 5.9 all at the same time. So there's no going back, there's no fixing it, there's no climate meetings that are going to change anything, there's nothing we can really do about it, okay? It is what it is. It's an important conversation because it is about our future and where is it all going, but I think you know where it's all going. Okay, so we've got all these earthquakes going on. One more thing connected to the earthquakes. Kim Jong-un, okay? He, as I said in one of my last video blogs, he is sending his little rockets into the Sea of Japan, testing things in his own country, a hydrogen bomb, sending things in the Pacific Plate, and yes, you know, what it's doing is it's breaking up the plates. In North Korea, they've had earthquakes, not as big as anything in Mexico. Now, you stop and say, well, maybe we should just, take him out or whatever. I'm not suggesting it, but maybe we should be looking at other options before he destroys the place. But look at the bigger picture. Always look at the bigger picture. This was all meant to happen in this timeline, okay? Kim Jong-un was supposed to do all of this. And you can believe that or not believe that. He is one of the people who's contributing to the breaking up of the tectonic plates, okay? The fracking, we know about the fracking, and all this activity that is going on everywhere. It just doesn't affect one little country. It affects the whole continent. It goes all the way across. Everything is connected to everything, and if you see it in your mind, maybe you want to meditate on it, whatever you want to do, it's all coming apart, and it's just meant to end this way. We came out, this hologram was created, however you see creation happening, but it was created out of chaos, out of the blackness, out of the void, and that's how it is coming to an end. Now let's get to a little bit of pseudoscience, okay? Or maybe that was a little bit of pseudoscience. But in pseudoscience, I took this earthquake in Mexico, outside of Mexico City, and it was by a city called Puebla. It happens that someone who I know happened to be here that day. Her family lives in Mexico City. So we opened up a map of Mexico because I'm a map person, I'm a visual person. So we looked at it, and she said her mom and 4 of her brothers and their families, their houses unfortunately collapsed. Okay, they went to stay with other family in Acapulco. In the meantime, while we're looking at this map, I said, wait a minute, Puebla is very close to Teotihuacan. So we started, I didn't have to, but I showed her what's in Teotihuacan, and that is the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon, and that's something else you might want to look up, but that takes us to ancient aliens, ancient alien theories, even there's Mount Popo over there. She told me how to say it, Popocatépetl. She was here, she'd probably correct me. Popocatépetl. That's the closest I can get. Popocatépetl has had videos of UFOs and strange lights coming in and out of the top, okay? Don't know to say definitely what that's about, whose UFOs they are. But when all of this was going on, a friend and I decided to do a remote view. That means you take your consciousness from focus here and you put it somewhere else, anywhere else, in the hologram, in the universe, in the grids, and see what's going on under Mount Popo. Okay, so that's what we did, and what we discovered, what I discovered, and he discovered, was a graveyard, shall we call it, or a junkyard of UFOs. They didn't look like they were functioning. I don't know why aliens would deposit their UFOs in there, and I don't know what that's about. I have no idea. My take is these are alien UFOs, not government UFOs, but I saw them there. And when I see things, usually, okay, right after that, somebody comes along with some verification. Like when I remote viewed on the moon, no sooner did I do that when other people were getting the same responses. Ancient Alien Theory was the people who were on that show, guesting on that show, were giving the same information I had seen. So you need some verification. But, okay, so we have these UFOs kind of, I don't know, you need a junkyard to put your stuff away, right? I mean, I had seen the same thing under Antarctica, actually. Not on the moon. I didn't see them on the moon. I actually saw them in different places here. Does it mean ancient aliens came here at one time? Is it important? It's only important if they're coming back, okay? I don't see them coming back. I could be wrong, but it is a possibility. So I saw these alien crafts, and then I thought of Quetzalcoatl, and then we go to Teotihuacan, and that was in the news also recently. I think they found some other grave. They're always finding things in these ancient ruins and these ancient sites. So, you know, you start putting these pieces of the puzzle together, and then let's segue back again to the Atlantic, leave the Pacific, because it's rocking and rolling and nothing we can do about that. And if I lived in that region, yeah, I'd be worried. I mentioned that on a blog starting the end of last year. I said this is the first time that I have ever written that people should not be moving to the West Coast. I mean, if you're there, you're there. But I would not choose that as an option. Okay, so now let's get back to the Atlantic. When I was looking at, we had, I think it started with Hurricane Harvey, and then we had the Irma, which did a disastrous number on Florida, and then we had Maria, which, what that did to the Caribbean, forget it. Puerto Rico will never be the same. I don't know when and if they'll ever recover. Everything's in recovery mode there. No electricity, no power. It's bad. That's another thing you could Google, or you probably know it. And then there's Jose, who went up the coast. But okay, so these are the four major hurricanes that came through within the month. And with these hurricanes, I woke up one morning and I saw, I know I'm going into pseudoscience again, but I saw the Bermuda Triangle. So I looked it up, I got the picture, I posted the picture, and I said, okay, here we go. Here's the Bermuda Triangle. Let's go look beneath it, because ancient alien theory and other theories say that there are bases under the water there, okay? And I said, well, I'm gonna go have a little look. And is there a connection between what's going on, let's say activity in that specific area, and what's creating these hurricanes? Lots of different theories on that. The theories on the hurricanes are they could be natural disasters, they could be created by governments, by terrorists, by aliens, by anything you want. But it's the way the hurricanes kind of moved around that people came to the conclusion that these hurricanes are being guided one way or another. You can believe whoever you want created them. It's 6 and 1/2 dozen of another. It could be the hologram itself, you know, but they took interesting turns. And let's go to the one in Florida, which was Irma. I know people on both coasts who were working the energies of these hurricanes. Wherever they were, there was little or no power outages, little or no damage where that was supposed to be. It's very interesting. Can consciousness higher consciousness, any consciousness, work the hurricanes, blow them out to sea, reduce them in intensity, actually put the land area we're talking about into sort of a bubble as the hurricane goes through, another insert put back. There's so many different science and pseudoscience and conspiracy theories connected to all of this, okay? So you have to pick and choose whichever one works for you. I just see them all as part of, shall we call it, like this great master plan, not just to take down the earth. There's other things going on in the rest of the hologram we call our universe, okay? I don't know of any immediate UFO sightings and interaction with aliens, but maybe that's because nobody's told me about it. I'm not privy to it, and that's all well and good. You know, I don't want to play in this game anymore. I would just like everything to just find what it needs to find, and let's finish this all up. So we are now at the end of September. Besides being personally busy, and probably you were too in this time of transition, and wait, I left out the fact that there were wildfires, there were flooding in many places across the planet. Oh my goodness. And all of the other, let's call them natural disasters that have taken place. If you're in an area that is safe, I say be happy, be grateful, be thankful. Thank whoever you thank, a God, a nobody, whatever, okay? And just know that the planet is rocking and rolling. You should always be prepared, just as if somebody announced on your TV that, uh-oh, there is this thing coming your way, this natural disaster coming your way. Be prepared. Keep the car filled with gas. Don't let it go down to empty, okay? Have all the supplies that one needs in case the power goes down. The loss of the power grid would be, I can't even imagine what that would do to the United States. I know that there is diversion upon diversion. Everything is a diversion. Donald Trump, all right, let's just say what's going on with him, so many things. He lost his bid for health care. Good, because the plan that he and the others in the Republican Party had in place was horrible. Glad that's done. Let's see what comes up. I'm not going to say if there is anything. I personally believe with healthcare, there is no plan that will satisfy everybody. There's always going to be a problem with every plan. So, okay, there's tax reform bill. Don't know that I understand it. Maybe I'll figure it out, read through it, try to sort it out. Just came out yesterday. Trump is making us middle-class folk wealthy. We're going to benefit from all of that. And then you go listen to the news and conspiracy theories, and they say, no, it's the rich. Who cares? I don't care. Yes, there are people who care, but it's not what I'm here programmed to do, so I probably will never understand this. I do have a daughter and a son-in-law who are partners in different CPA firms. Maybe they'll explain it to me, and maybe I will just let it go over my head. Terrorism, there's always something going on in the world, whether it's a crazy doing something in a church, like something that happened recently in a school, in a church, in a theater. This is not going to stop. It's what I call end time events. They are going to continue. It's in our program, if you can read grids. And I wish I could wave a magic wand and tell you, okay, or say, let's all meditate together now and let's all change the grids. No. It's bigger than all of us. It's bigger than everything. It's bigger than Trump. Okay? It's just bigger than everything. Trump, my take on Trump as we come to the end of September, is he just gets in his own way. Okay? He's got psychological problems. So he says the wrong thing, does this wrong thing, reacts the wrong way, continues to tweet these ridiculous tweets that make him look like an idiot. And it's, you know, there's a part of me that wanted Trump to come in and make some difference, but I don't know that he will. I mean, he wants to, but he's not a politician. You know, you got to take that into account. He's trying to figure it out, but he's not a politician. He's a businessman. And of course, we have all of what's going on. Last thing, all of what's going on with Russia, the Russian scandals with Trump, and the Russian interference in political agendas across the globe. So that's where we leave off for this month, to be continued early next month. And will it be just as eventful? Absolutely. Every day something else happens. And I hope your life is safe and that things are going well for you, health-wise and in every other venture. Bye.